Hello, Dhruv. Audible clearly? Hmm, हाँ, yes, audible. Okay. हाँ. Oh, पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन ही है सर. मैं थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करूंगी, उसके बाद में ले लेती हूँ. ठीक है. Ratik, where were you, Ratik? Sorry, Dhruv. Hmm? We have started with new chapter. We have finished also first chapter. Now second chapter. Yes, yes, yes. So second chapter last Sunday I have started with second chapter reproduction. Hmm? Hmm? Reproduction in lower and higher organisms. Okay. Hmm? So we have done this plant reproduction. Now we have to study about reproduction in case of lower and higher animals. Okay. Hmm? Give me. Group, I'm going to share now my PowerPoint presentation. So you have to tell me whether it is visible or not. Okay. Today I'm not going to use Blackboard because it is very theoretical and diagrams are there. It is not possible for me to draw each and every diagram. So let me show you. Is it visible? Pratik, sorry, Dhruv.
Yes.
Okay. Say something because I'm not able to see what you are writing in chat box. Okay, so again, introduction part and everything. What are the types of reproduction? Then modes of reproduction. Then asexual who is there? Caesal. हाँ Types of reproduction and importance of asexual mode of reproduction, sexual mode of reproduction, everything we have discussed in detail, Dhruv. Okay, but for you, I am revising it again. In short, only I am going to revise. There are two types of reproduction, asexual and sexual. Asexual, that means you know there is involvement of only one parent. And what is the importance of having asexual mode of reproduction? In next generation, whatever offsprings you are going to get, those offsprings are genetically similar to the parent, or we can say genetically similar to previous generation, right? That means in this sexual, or we can see in this genetic stability is maintained. Okay, and in sexual mode of reproduction, as there is involvement of two parents, male gamete and female gamete. Okay, there is fusion of male. In this diagram, you can see male, female gamete ova and male gamete sperm. As there is fusion of male and female gametes, here genetic stability is not maintained, plus you will get variations. Why variations? Because there is exchange of genetic material. Now you know that these are germ cells. So cells, if you see generalized structure of cells, each in cell you have nucleus. Inside nucleus chromosomes are there, right? So there is exchange of genetic material and which results into variations. Understood? So variations मिलते हैं. So variations are important in the process of evolutionary rate or in evolution. This you know. Okay. So in short, I have explained you about importance and two modes of reproduction which we have already discussed. See here, you can see offsprings are genetically identical. Then fertilization, right? External, internal fertilization. Then in this you can see, if you do comparative study differences between asexual and sexual mode of reproduction, one parent is needed, two parents needed, a male and female gamete, no gametes required. Here gametes are required, offsprings are genetically identical and offspring are not genetically identical. Okay. Only one individual is needed to colonize a new area. Here male and female are needed. It is fast process, asexual, and do you know one thing? Asexual mode of reproduction is commonly seen in lower organism. And sexual mode of reproduction, the complex and what we can say, organism, जैसे human beings, we are organized till organ system level of organization. So we are complex organism. Sexual mode, we have a proper organ system to perform reproduction, right? We called it as reproductive system. Yes. So this is important. Advantage and disadvantage. A good characteristic shows up in all those things. That means, an advantage of sexual mode of reproduction, new varieties. Why new varieties? Because there is fusion of male and female gametes. जैसे ही फ्यूजन होता है वैसे ही वो उसका जेनेटिक मटेरियल एक्सचेंज कर देता है. Okay. So new varieties are produced which may be more able to adapt to the new environment. Disadvantages, a defect in the parent shows up in all offspring. Why? Because only one parent is involved. It is simply by mitosis sometimes. Single body divides into two equal daughter cells. फिर अगर पेरेंट्स में डिफेक्ट है तो वो ऑफस्प्रिंग में भी चला जाता है. You will not see any variations in asexual mode of reproduction. And in sexual mode of reproduction, excellent individuals cannot give identical offspring. That means variations you will observe. What do you mean by variations? Variations are nothing but morphological dissimilarities. Now, morphological dissimilarities means what, students? Externally, morphology means what? External appearance of an organism. Dissimilar. Morphologically, they are dissimilar. That means they are not exactly same. You will see some radiation. Okay. Hmm? Yes. Now here gonads in male, testes, female ovaries, gametes, sperm, ovum, or we also called it as egg. Hmm? Now one more thing. Let me discuss with you all. See, both gametes we called it as sex cells only, sperm and ova. But if you see the size of sperm and ovum, sperm is motile in nature, मूव तो हो सकता है, ovum motile नहीं होता है, ठीक है. But if you observe the size, ovum is large in size, huh? And sperms are very minute. Why is this difference we can observe? Because later on, ovum has to provide nourishment to the developing embryo. Okay, and that's the reason ovum is large in size. Okay, students. So gametes are produced by a type of cell division. We called it as meiosis. You know that there are two types of cells, somatic cells and what is it, Sejal? We have discussed this last time now. Somatic cells and what was the next one? Tell me, Sejal.
Germ cells.
Correct, very good. तो माइटोसिस जो है सोमैटिक सेल का डिवीजन जो होता है इट इज सिंपली बाय माइटोसिस और जर्म सेल्स जो होते हैं डिवीजन कौन सा है विच टाइप ऑफ सेल डिवीजन इट इज मियोसिस so reproduction we can see that in simple sentence production of new organism of its own kind okay now, I think Sejal, we have discussed about asexual reproduction in animals also, na? Budding, gemule formation, regeneration, everything we have discussed, na Sejal?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Dhruv, what you can do is now you go through it because we have already discussed about some asexual reproduction in animals like budding, for example, hydra. It is just a small growth, then it detached from parent body and then develops into new individual. Hmm? So Dhruv, do one thing. आप क्या करो? You go through it and let me know later on if you have any doubts regarding this topic. Okay. Hmm?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. I think budding, fragmentation, in Spirogyra, regeneration, you have studied in 10th standard also. Gemule formation is new for you. So please go through gemule formation first. Okay. Now, in today's lecture, we are going to talk about human reproduction. So humans are, you know that reproduction is essential process. It is one of the characteristics shown by all the living organisms. So whether it is lower organism or the higher organism. Okay. If you go through, like, if you take examples of lower organism, for example, unicellular organisms, they do not have any organ system to perform such kind of life process. We call it as reproduction. But in case of complex organism, that means multicellular eukaryotic organism, what we can say, proper reproductive system is there in which different organs are involved. We call it as reproductive organs. And in this also, some are essential and some are non-essential. And we will talk about this later on. Now, humans are sexually reproducing animals, and the process of reproduction involves various sequential steps. Sejal, please try to remember. We have studied about pre-reproductive stage, post-reproductive, reproductive, and post-reproductive. Yes or no, Sejal? Tell me.
No, ma'am.
We have not studied this.
No,
So,
ma'am.
pre-fertilization, fertilization, and post-fertilization stages we have studied, right? We have studied na Sejal last time in plant reproduction. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So pre-fertilization, fertilization, post-fertilization, and all that. Now here also we have sequential steps. Wait, Ratik. Wow, very good. Good evening, Ratik. Are you there? Where were you? तुम लोग रेगुलर क्यों नहीं आते हो एक्सेप्ट सेजल? हाँ, ध्रुव, प्रतीक. पता है तुम लोगों को लिंक टूट जाता है ये सब चीजों का. हाँ, जो हमने अभी प्लान लास्ट लेक्चर में लास्ट आई थिंक सेजल वी आई हैव टेकन 3 लेक्चर्स राइट. 2 2 आवर्स के मैंने लिए हैं. एक घर से लिया था, एक यहाँ पे आके लिया था, एक संडे को लिया था. याद है ना? तो 3 लेक्चर
ma'am.
में पूरा हमने खत्म कर दिया है ये. अभी हमारा लास्ट टॉपिक चालू है, ह्यूमन रिप्रोडक्शन, और वो भी मेल एंड फीमेल रिप्रोडक्शन. दैट्स इट. ऐसा मत करो तुम लोग. यू आर इन 12th स्टैंडर्ड. हाँ, 11th में है तो मैं समझ सकती हूँ. थोड़ा कंटिन्यू आ जाओ क्लासेस को. ओके, व्हाट वाज द पॉइंट? Here we have not mentioned anything about essential organs and all. Okay, let it be. I will explain you what it is. Now, here, as I told you, it involves different steps like gametogenesis. Now, what is gametogenesis? The process of formation of gametes. मतलब क्या? Here, separately we are going to consider human male and the human female. In human males, when I say gametes, that means you have to remember sperm. And in human female, ovary, ova or egg, right? Then insemination, then external fertilization. That means in case of human beings, internal fertilization, we have 2 types of fertilization: internal fertilization and external fertilization. Okay. So the internal fertilization means what? Fusion of male and female gametes inside the body. We call it as internal fertilization. Then zygote formation is there. Huh? You can write it down somewhere while explaining, right? I'm talking about sequential steps. Then only you will come to know कि किसके बाद कौन सा step आता है. Then zygote formation is there. In zygote formation, see here also we have different developmental stages. Zygote, then embryo, then fetus, and then infant. So you can write it down like this. First is zygote, then embryo, then you have a fetus. Fetus is nothing but fully developed embryo, and then infant. Infant is newly born baby. So zygote formation is there. Embryogenesis, after zygote, zygote converts into embryo. So the process of formation of embryo is called as embryogenesis. Then gestation period, in human beings it is 9 months and 9 days. And maturation. Understood? Okay, everyone. So these are nothing but sequential steps that we have to study now. Now, gametes, sperms or eggs and eggs are produced by the primary sex organ. Now I am going to introduce you primary sex organ and the secondary sex organ. And it is also called as essential and non-essential, or we can say accessory sex organ. I think it's there in my rough notebook. Later on, I'm going to show you, and like that only you have to draw the diagram. Now, I'm going to keep this PowerPoint presentation as it is. Now, I'm going to draw one table on blackboard. Please write it down in your notebook, and then I will explain you how it is going to work exactly. Isn't it, everyone? समझ में आ रहा है मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, please give heading the male reproductive system. बोर्ड पे अभी मैं जाके लिखती हूँ तो प्लीज मुझे बोल देना बोर्ड पे जो मैं लिखने वाली हूँ वो विजिबल है या नहीं है। यहाँ तो दिख रहा है क्योंकि आई एम शेयरिंग ऑल्सो ना, दैट्स द रीजन आई एम आस्किंग। Is it visible now? Yes, I see. Yes or no, students? Tell me.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Visible.
Okay. Don't draw diagram. You can take your own time to draw diagram later on. But this chart is very important, flow chart. Everyone, please listen to me carefully. Here I have written essential organ. Below that only in brackets, please write down primary sex organ. And there I have written accessories organ. Below that only in bracket write down secondary sex organ. Understood?
Yes,
Write down primary sex organ and secondary sex organ. Students, is it visible clearly? Spellings and all?
Yes, ma'am.
If it is not visible, you can ask me, huh? Ma'am, this spelling is not visible clearly. Please tell us, huh? And please, you can use separate page. थोड़ा spacious लिखो, हाँ? One horizontal jumbo book का page करो. Why? I'm telling you because in this flow chart you can add your own points also, huh? जो मैं explain करूँगी, you have to add, right? Because somewhere other names are also there. Like for example, prostate gland, seminal vesicle. So you have to add. Done? Okay, done everyone? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Okay, right.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Dhruv, what about you?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Ratik, are you writing, Ratik?
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Now, please be attentive, everyone. Listen to me carefully. Uh, let me explain about flowchart and then we'll be talking about it. See, reproduction system in man divided into essential organs and accessory organs. Now, why the name is given essential organ, accessory organ? Because it depends on its main function. Okay. Essential organs are also called as primary sex organs. Huh? And accessory organs called as secondary sex organs. Now, why the name is essential organ? Let me discuss about the reason. What is the main reason? Because it produces or primary sex organ is a pair of testes, right? So it produces pumps and the hormones. That means directly taking part into the process of reproduction. Hmm? Produces pumps and hormones also. You must have heard about testosterone and all. Okay. So it produces pumps or and hormones. That's the reason we called it as essential organ. Hmm? What about accessory organ? Play supportive role. Now, supportive role means what? Huh? Like here, you have to remember duct system, right? So genital duct, then glands are there, and supportive organs are also there. So genital duct means what? Will carry स्पर्म्स ओनली जो कंडक्शन का काम करती है टेस्टिस में जो स्पर्म प्रोड्यूस होते हैं वो स्पर्म प्रोड्यूस होने के बाद दैट सिस्टम में चले जाते हैं हाँ so we have different like a pair of epididymis we have then second a pair of seed what I am telling you a pair of and that's the reason in my flowchart also I have written a pair of and one prostate gland somewhere I have written why to make you understand कि ये पैर में स्ट्रक्चर है या सिंगल स्ट्रक्चर है हाँ ये तो आपको पता ही चलता है when you observe diagram then only you will come to know but still it is mentioned in my flowchart also so it is a pair of epididymis then in a sequence only they have given students you have to remember in this way only huh? A pair of epididymis in this diagram they have not given this is just a general diagram. Then you have a pair of vasa differentia, then a pair of ejaculatory duct, and then urethra. So this is nothing but the duct system. Now, let me tell you about urethra. Now, in case of male or human males, urethra acts as a urinogenital passage. You can write it down, a student. Urinogenital passage. Now, why urinogenital? It acts as a urinogenital passage because why it is called as because urethra is going to release sperms also and urine also, but not at the same time. Understood? So it acts as a common passage for both sperm as well as urine, but not at the same time. Why not at the same time? अगर ejaculation होता है, तो क्या होगा? जो sperm होते हैं, जो semen होता है, what will happen? Due to the, you know that urine is acidic in nature, so due to acidity, sperms will die. So that is the reason. So urethra acts as a urinogenital, or we can say it acts as a common passage for both sperms and what we can say urine. Now we have second we have glands. Now for each and every pair system you have associated glands. Why associated glands? जो moisture होता है, you know that pumps are motile. and it has to, or they have to reach at the site of fertilization. Hmm? They are millions in numbers. Hmm? So when we talk about sperm, it is motile in nature. तो हर एक डक से अगर वो जाने वाला है तो उसको नरिशमेंट चाहिए होता है. Understood? Hmm? So glands, associated glands are there. Hmm? जो secrete करते हैं, gland secretion करता है, कहीं से secrete करते हैं for nourishment, for a better transportation system, or we can say mature sperms also. That means there is one process, we called it as spermatogenesis and spermiogenesis. So you can write it down somewhere as it is. We are going to study this in next subtopic also. Now, what is the difference between spermatogenesis and spermiogenesis? Spermatogenesis is what? Production of sperm. Correct. And spermiogenesis is also production of sperms only. But what is the difference? Here, in spermatogenesis, there is production of mature sperm. We can see, or we can see inactive sperm. हाँ, and spermiogenesis means what? जब ये inactive के active बन जाते हैं, जब ये mature से mature बन जाते हैं, ठीक है? Then we called it as, the process is called it as spermiogenesis. So there is difference between spermatogenesis and spermiogenesis. Okay. Then we have understood about glands, secretion, nourishment, transport, and the mature. For example, I have written for your understanding in bracket कि अगर glands है तो वो क्या function करता है exactly. Then supportive organs are also there. Supportive organs, that means support in sexual activity during intercourse. Scrotum. Now scrotum is external genitalia. Here scrotum is a sac-like structure in which testes are embedded. Okay. Then penis is also there. Now penis facilitates the insemination. I have not written in my it's written. Yes, correct. Insemination process. So understood about overall flow chart. What I have, yes, one more is there. Glands, may you have a pair of seminal vesicles. Then one prostate gland. Prostate gland is only one. So it is one prostate gland. And a pair of Cowper's gland is also there. And it is also called as, write it down, bulbourethral gland, which helps in lubrication. It is a alkaline fluid. Please write it down. Bulbourethral gland. Bulbourethral. Thral. Bulbourethral gland. So Cowper's gland is also called as bulbourethral gland. So general structure understood, everyone. Though don't worry about bladder, ureter and all. Please concentrate on prostate gland. Sperm duct. So here they have given sperm duct only. But what we have studied? We have studied a pair of epithydines, a pair of vasa differentia, ejaculatory duct and urethra is also there. Okay, produce. Now, what is the function of functions of the testes, which is the primary organ or essential organ? Produce sperms and produces or produce the sex hormone called as testosterone. Okay. Now, if you take the section of testes, this is how it looks. Coiled sperm tubules, you will see testes. Sperm duct. Can you see sperm duct here? Yes, this is what our first pair of duct, genital duct, we called it as epididymis. तो ये सबसे पहला अटैच रहता है, यहाँ पे ही कंडक्शन यहाँ से ही स्टार्ट हो जाता है. So the first of all, it is received by which genital duct? It is a pair of testes. Okay. So understood about functions of testes, produce sperms and produce the sex hormone testosterone. Now functions of epididymis, which is a first gland, genital duct. Here you can see. Can you see this? Large tubular structure here, coiled structure, epididymis. So here you can see. Yes. Now, what is the function of sperm ducts towards the sperm and uh, passageway for sperm from epididymis to the urethra? In between, we have a pair of vasa differentia and the ejaculatory duct also. Now, in this, you can clearly see, yes, here, scrotum, sac-like structure in which testes are embedded. Then penis, which is a supportive organ. Epididymis, first to genital duct. Then urethra. Urethra acts as a common passage. Then next is sperm duct, which is your vasa differentia. Then seminal vesicle, a pair of seminal vesicle I have written in my flow chart. And prostate gland. Okay, understood? Now, ejaculation, yes, this we have discussed. Insemination, semen fluids and sperm, this also. Okay, it is given in your textbook also. Normal sperm count and low sperm count. Okay, large number. Yes. Now this diagram, if you observe, seminal vesicle and the prostate gland, fluids and semen are released from seminal vesicle. जो fluid होता है, अरे बाप रे, urethra, same, epididymis, same structure you will observe here. Yes, I told you, urine is acidic in nature. So semen contains alkali, sugars and protein. Composition we are talking about. Okay, the fluid keeps the sperms alive and helps them to swim vigorously. Why? Because they have to reach at the site of fertilization. And what is the site of fertilization, students? Tell me. What is it? कहाँ पे जाके fertilize करता है sperm? Which is there in female reproductive system. Which organ is it? Huh?
Fallopian tube.
Correct. Very good. It is also called as oviduct, right? Ovum structure. I told you ovum is large in size. Okay. So you will observe yolk, cytoplasm, nucleolus, and nucleus in which genetic material is present. So why it is large in size? Because further it has to provide nourishment to the developing embryo. Yes. Now, if you study a single spermatozoon, you can see acrosome, hydrolytic enzyme जो होता है इसमें, then nucleus in which genetic material present, then mitochondria and tube. Now, each and every part you will see mitochondria, you know, it is one of the cell organelles. You have studied this before also. Okay, tell me what is the function of mitochondria? What is it? Function of mitochondria, my dear students, tell me. Mitochondria function, very simple. How many cell organelles you have studied? You have been studying this in some 10th standard. Golgi apparatus, lysosome, mitochondria and all. Yes, Dhruv, any answer? Baapre. You don't know the function of mitochondria, students? Not even a basic function? ATP formation. Which provides the energy. We called it as energy currency of the cell. याद है या नहीं है? Functions of tail to swim towards the ovum. Then function of the nucleus uses its ovum nucleus to produce the offspring. That means genetic. Can you see genes? Genetic material. It carries genetic material. When there is fusion, they exchange their genetic material. So that what is the result? Which results into variation. If you know. Functions of mitochondria release energy for cell to move. हम्म, ये क्या करता है? पंप को एनर्जी करता है, एनर्जी देता है for the movement. Releases energy for cells to move. Hmm? Understood, students? Hmm? Now, what is the function of acrosome here, which is present towards the anterior end of the sperm? It releases enzymes to penetrate the ovum. That means here one enzyme is present which will facilitate the entry of sperm directly into the ovum. Here in this diagram, you can observe it's only possible because of this enzyme, and we called it as acrosome. Acrosome means what? Here, enzyme is present. I don't think so. Yes, it's there. Test tube baby is also there in your syllabus, but not now. We are going to discuss way. I'm going to stop now because uh, only think, yes. TS of testes I have not discussed. So let me discuss about TS of testes. I have shown you diagram. If you have textbook, please open your textbook and let me explain about it. Now I'm going to discuss. Look here, everyone. Be attentive now. Please keep this chart in front of you. See, sperms and eggs are produced by the primary sex organ, testes in male and ovary in female. Organs other than testes and ovary are called secondary sex organs. As male and female can be externally differentiated. We are highly sexual dimorphic animals. That means easily what we can say, sexually dimorphic. Di means what? Two. Morphic. Morphologically, if you see, sexes are separated, right? So secondary sexual characters, we are called as sexual dimorphic characters. So I'm not going to explain about this. Enlarged larynx, Adam's apple, because you have studied this in 8th standard. Reaching at the age of adolescence, puberty के बाद क्या क्या changes होता है in males and in females. So I am not going to explain about it. So these are nothing but secondary sexual characteristics. Okay, everyone. Now, male reproductive system, it consists of primary male organ, gonads, we called it as testes, accessory duct. Now only Sejal and Pratik is there. Why only 3 participants? Okay, let it be.
Ma'am,
Huh?
did you share the screen?
No. I'm not sharing anything. Now I'm explaining about flow chart in detail, Sejal. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
I have already explained you, but in short, only primary functions I have discussed you. Now I am discussing this in detail. So take pencil in your hand and please write down few points in the flow chart only itself. It is very simple. Okay. First, testes. So here only you can continue writing. A pair of testes which is mesodermal in origin. You know that we are triploblastic animals. We are derived from three germ layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. So testes जो है, it is mesodermal in origin and it is formed in the lower abdominal cavity. Now they are located in the pouch called scrotum. During early fetal life, the testes develop in abdominal cavity and later they descend into the scrotal sac. Now, a shape and everything I'm not going to discuss, 4 to 5 centimeter and all. Okay. Now, let's talk about histology of testes. And please give triple star to this because this is very frequently asked question. Histology of testes. Here you need to draw one diagram. One diagram is given. The testes is externally covered by collagenous connective tissue layer. We called it as tunica albuginea. Then tunica vaginalis and tunica vasculosa. A thin membranous and vascular layer. Vascular layer means what? The part which is highly supplied with blood vessels. Blood vessels means what? Arteries and veins. Now each with 1 to 4 highly called seminiferous tubules. In diagram I have shown you seminiferous tubules. Okay. So each seminiferous tubule, let me show you only, then only you will come to know. Wait. Wait, I'm sharing now. There is one diagram. Uh, is it visible, students? Sejal and Ratik, please tell me. Focus on this diagram. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. So you have to draw this diagram. Homework. Huh? I told you this is very frequently asked question, so you have to remember this diagram. When you take a section of testes, TS, transverse section of testes, this is how it looks like. Okay. Now each with 1 to 4 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. In this diagram, you can observe spermatids. Can you see spermatids here? Then Leydig cells also there, basement membrane, spermatogonium. Here you can see. Then primary spermato. I told you, different stages, developmental stages are there, and then there is formation of sperm. That means the process is called as spermatogenesis. The process of formation of sperm called as spermatogenesis. Okay. Sertoli cells, then spermatids, you can see secondary spermatocytes. So each seminiferous tubule is internally lined by cuboidal germinal epithelial. Cuboidal germinal epithelial cells called as spermatogonia. Here you can see spermatogonia. Okay. And few large pyramidal cells called as Sertoli cells. Can you see? यहाँ पे दिख रहा है, हाँ? That is your Sertoli cell. The germinal epithelial cells undergo gametogenesis. Gametogenesis means what? Gamete formation. जहाँ पे sperms produce होंगे to form spermatozoa. Sertoli cells provide nutrition. यहाँ पे can you see Sertoli cells? So Sertoli cells provide nourishment, or we can say nutrition to the developing sperm. So write it down. What is the function of Sertoli cells? To provide nutrition to the developing sperm. So different various stages of spermatogenesis you can see in the seminiferous tubule. Okay. So spermatogonial cell here diploid in nature, primary, then primary spermatocyte. यहाँ से जा रहा है देखो ये this is your first stage, then second one, then third one, and then sperm formation. So spermatogonial cell, spermatogonium, diploid in nature, primary spermatocyte, again diploid in nature, 2n. Then you have secondary spermatocyte, haploid in nature. Then spermatid formation. Again haploid in nature, n, and then sperm formation. Okay, so this sequence you have to remember. First, spermatogonium, 2n, primary spermatocyte, 2n, secondary spermatocyte, site n, spermatid n, and sperm n again. So you can write this sequence by giving what we can say arrowhead. And the Leydig cells, can you see here Leydig cells lie in between the seminiferous tubules. यहाँ पे in between you can observe. They secrete the male hormone. Underline what is the function of Leydig cells? They secrete the male hormone androgen, and it is also called as, yes, Pratik, what is it? You have written in flow chart now. What is it? Which hormone it is going to secrete? Leydig cells. Say something, Pratik. Your mic is working or not? Okay, Sejal, you tell me. Leydig cells secrete the male hormone androgen. We called it as
Testosterone.
correct. Very good. So in this only you can write it down in brackets. Secretes testosterone. Understood till here? Now accessory ducts we have to see. Again, please let me. Yes. Now accessory duct system we have to discuss. That means the first is your vasa, differentia. Is it written? Differentia I have written. No. Something is wrong in my spelling, students. A pair of epithelium. Yes, it is MIS. Please make the spelling. There is one spelling mistake. MIS. One more duct you have to. Okay. Huh. So, accessory ducts include vasa efferentia, epididymis, vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, and urethra. So, the written everyone. Now, sperms from the testes and it opens into the epididymis, which is a long, highly coiled tube structure. Then it leads into vas deferens, which travels up to abdominal cavity and loops over the ureter, and it opens to the urethra. Then ejaculatory duct is also there. Ejaculatory duct passes through prostate gland and opens into the urethra. Okay. The urethra provides a common passage for urine and semen, and hence it is called as urinotogenital duct. I told you before also. In males, the urethra is long and extends to the penis. It opens the outside by opening called urethral meatus or urethral orifice. Then gonads are there. Sorry, not gonads, glands. Seminal vesicle gland, prostate gland, and the last is Cowper's gland. And it is also called as bulbourethral gland. I hope you have written this. In short, I'm going to tell you. Seminal vesicle, again it is a pair of glands, and it secretes an alkaline seminal fluid which contains fructose, fibrinogen, and prostaglandins. Okay, you can write it down. Okay. Then you have prostate gland. It is a large and single gland made up of 20 to 30 lobes, and it is located underneath of urinary bladder. It surrounds the urethra and releases a milky white and slightly acidic prostatic fluid. Hmm? It forms about 30% of volume of the semen. Hmm? Now it contains citric acid and other enzymes also. जो क्या करते हैं, which will protect the sperm from acidic environment of the vagina. So that is also there. And last we have Cowper's gland and bulbourethral gland. It is a small pea-sized pair gland situated on either side of the urethra. Mucus, it gland secrete an alkaline viscous mucus-like fluid which acts as a lubricant during the copulation, during the intercourse, we can say. Okay, so I think we have done with male reproductive system. Now we are going to focus on female reproductive system. Again, one more flow chart is there. Let me draw it. You write it down and then I'm going to explain you. And TS of ovaries also there. So TS of testes and TS of ovaries. You have to draw diagram. Please write down in your notebook that you have to draw TS of ovary and TS of testes. Okay, new heading, female reproductive system. Again, you have to write same thing, primary sex organ and secondary sex organ. Okay. Again, in this bracket, you can write down supportive function. Below that, you can write supportive function and secondary sex organ. I'm not going to write now. Okay. the other name of Ovida? Fallopian tube. You have to write this on next page. Don't continue in this flowchart. Understood? Am I audible? हाँ तेजल प्रतीक
Yes.
हाँ क्या करना है आपको जो अभी मैं एक ब्रैकेट में लिख रही हूँ ना हाँ यू हैव टू कंटिन्यू दिस ऑन नेक्स्ट पेज नॉट इन दिस चार्ट फ्लो चार्ट and writing parts of hallocation. No, it is not visible. Okay. पहले ये हाफ पार्ट कर लो फिर मैं यहाँ पे Is it visible now? Yes. ये होने के बाद फिर बोल देना मुझे. Once you are finished writing this flow chart, let me know. Then again I'll turn the camera because something I have written there which is very important. Okay, both of you.
Okay.
हाँ. Yes, write down. Uterus maybe what you can write is there only you can write there are three parts: endometrium, myometrium and perimetrium. Three linings are there. Three important linings of uterus: endometrium, myometrium. See, because each and every point I cannot mention in my flowchart. Actually, it is very important. बट अगर आप लोग ऐसे बैठे होते हो ना तो मैं ऐसे कर लेती इजीली, लिख लेती जितना भी मुझे इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट उसमें लिखना है, ताकि सिर्फ फ्लो चार्ट पढ़ने से आपको समझ में आए. यस, फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम, आई हैव लर्न फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम, मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम. So quickly from the flow chart only you will come to know exactly what we have to written and what we have to write and what we have to remember, isn't it? And that's the reason what I'm doing now, सब important points में flow chart में डालने की कोशिश करती हूँ. Now here in uterus one more you can add. There are three linings: endometrium, myometrium and perimetrium. So you can add it. Done? Ratik, are you writing, Ratik? No, you are not writing? Yes, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Done? Okay. थोड़ा सा कैमरा यहाँ पे ले लेती हूँ so that you can add. Done?
Yes.
Okay. Now listen to me carefully. Here also in female reproductive system, essential organs and accessory organs are there. Again, same thing I'm going to repeat. Essential organs means what? Directly taking part in the process of reproduction. Hmm. It includes pair of ovaries. And what is the main function? To produce ova and to secrete hormone called as progesterone and the estrogen. So you can add in your flow chart. Hormones, estrogen and the progesterone. Now, accessory organs are supporting organs, which will support the reproductive system. That means it performs supportive functions. Secondary sex organs, we called it as like oviduct is there. Oviduct is also called as fallopian tube, which transports the ova. Then uterus we have, which protects and nourishes the developing embryo. Developing embryo or fetus also we can say. So the correct word is actually embryo. So in fetus there you can write embryo also. क्योंकि when there is a formation of zygote then after converts into embryo. तो ये implantation होना पड़ता है, right? Implantation is the process of attachment of embryo to the uterus. Okay. So uterus is one of the important organ where developing embryo is going to attach, which then after converts into fetus. So protection and nourishment का काम करता है uterus. I hope you must have written there are 3 layers of uterus: myometrium, endometrium, and periometrium. Okay, peri is outer, myo is middle, endo is inner lining of the uterus. Why I'm telling this? Because in menstrual cycle I am going to talk about endometrium, lining of the uterus, inner lining of the uterus, and that's the reason I told you please mention in your flow chart. Okay. Now after that, vagina is there. We are talking about accessory organs. It receives these pumps and also acts as a birth canal. Then next is your external genitalia. It is also called as vulva. vulva. Now it helps in coitus, that means during sexual intercourse, and also acts as a birth of child. So it includes mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, clitoris, and the hymen. Okay. Then next we have glands. So here secretion of hormones we can consider. For example, estrogen and the progesterone. Okay. So ovary, it is a primary female sex organ. Its main function is to produce egg or ova plus female reproductive hormones also. It is located in the upper lateral part of the pelvis near the kidneys. Each ovary is held in position by ligaments, okay, by attaching it to the uterus and the abdominal wall also. It holds the ovary. You can go through the flow chart, students. Then ovarian ligaments attaches ovary to the uterus. Then ovary produces 5 hormones: estrogen, progesterone, relaxin hormone, inhibin hormone, and activin hormone. So there are 5 hormones. You can write it down: estrogen, progesterone, relaxin hormone, activin hormone, and inhibin hormone. Now, pH of ovary is also important. Now, I'm going to share one diagram. Yes, is it visible? Here you
Yes.
can see. Yes. So, primary sex organ, that means pair of ovaries, then oviduct. This I'm going to explain you later on. I have already given you infundibulum, which is funnel shape. Then ampulla, isthmus. So these are nothing but parts of fallopian tube. I will discuss this later on. Let me explain you about TS of ovary. Clear this diagram, everyone? Huh? Oviduct, cervix, vagina, cervical canal, uterus. Now, uh, oh no, it is not given here. TS of ovary. Okay. If you have textbook, go to the textbook, everyone. Each ovary is compact structure which is differentiated into central part called as medulla and outer part called as cortex. Now, cortex is made up of externally by germinal epithelium, then loose connective tissues of medulla has blood vessels, lymph vessels, and nerve fibers also. Now, here, immature ova originating from cells of dorsal endoderm. The cells migrate to the gonadal ridge during embryonic development and divides mitotically. So the first division is mitosis only, simply by mitosis. Now these cells are called oogonia. जैसे हमने seminiferous tubules में we have studied different stages, spermatogonium, then primary spermatocyte, then secondary spermatocyte, then spermatid, and then sperm formation, right? So in this way only we have to study कि ओवरी में ओवा कैसे रिलीज होता है, ठीक है. So when you will come to know this, when you take a section of ovary, that is CS of ovary. So it is simply by mitotic division. We called it as oogonia. And as the oogonia continue to grow in size, they are surrounded by a layer. oogonia आगे जाके और बढ़ता है, साइज में बढ़ता है, और it is again surrounded by a layer of granulosa cells and form a rudiment of the ovarian follicle. Now, the process of oogenesis. What is oogenesis? What do you mean by oogenesis, students? Again, the process of formation of what we can say?
Egg.
Correct, egg or ova starts much before the birth of the female baby. And by the end of the 12 weeks, the ovary is fully formed. And it has more than 2 million primordial follicles. Prime means what? Before. But these are immature ones. Okay. The cells of germinal epithelium give rise to groups of oogonia projecting into the cortex. We have discussed two layers are there. One is cortex and the medulla. Okay. So medulla is the central part and cortex is the outer part. Now here cortex in the form of cords, we called it as egg tubes. Each cord at its end has a round mass of oogonial cell. We called it as egg nest. Now here primary oocyte is going to form. Primordial ovarian follicle. Let me show you diagram on the data. I hope this diagram is clear. Okay, let me explain about parts of oviduct. फिर मैं ये शेयर करना ही बंद कर देती हूँ, फिर आपको मैं PS of ovary दिखाती हूँ. Now look here. Can you see this finger-like projection here, students? Huh? Finger-like projection?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So oviduct and fallopian tube divided into three parts. Infundibulum. Here at the end of this, you can see finger-like projection, funnel shape. We called it as infundibulum. Then we have ampulla, which is a wide part, we can say, and then last part is isthmus. Isthmus is the last part. So ये आपको तो पता था कि फैलोपियन ट्यूब और ओविडक्ट में फर्टिलाइजेशन होता है, but exactly in which part it happens? So it is nothing but ampullary isthmic junction. Means what? Wide part ampullary. It is not clearly given in this diagram. This is just the general diagram. But if you observe ना, you will see wide part. जहाँ से ampulla start होता है. This is your infundibulum. Wide part is ampulla, and then isthmus. Last part is isthmus. So जहाँ पे ampulla खत्म होता है और isthmus start होता है. That is the point where fertilization takes place. So अगर एग्जाम में पूछा जाएगा what is the site of fertilization, so your answer should be it is ampullary isthmic junction. Understood, students? Visual प्रतीक समझ में आया क्या बोला मैंने? It is your ampullary isthmic junction. It is not oviduct. थोड़ा सा अभी यहाँ पे हमने एडवांस में स्टडी किया है. So please keep this in your mind now. Now I'm going to show you TS of ovary. We have already started about it. Primary oocytes, and here also you can write down the stages. जैसे हमने spermatogenesis, spermiogenesis में लिखा था, like that also you can mention here. Wait. Okay, now I'm sharing. Please check. Is it visible now? Excuse me.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now we are talking about TS of ovary. Very clearly given in this diagram. Can you see blood vessels? So this part is highly supplied with blood vessels. That means red color का जो है arteries and veins. First मैंने क्या बोला था? Primordial follicle. Can you see यहाँ पे छोटे छोटे primordial follicles? Then it converts into primary ovum. Here you can see primary follicle. Then primordial follicle converts into primary follicle. Then primary follicle develops into or converts into developing follicle, and that's the reason 3 stages we have given. Why? Because what is the name? Developing follicle, isn't it? In each and every stage, you will observe some of the changes. Here, can you see it is at the center? Here, can you see there is rearrangement of the cell जिसकी वजह से ये थोड़ा periphery में जा रहा है. Can you see in this diagram? So these are nothing but developing follicles. So the first step is or what we can see is oogonia जो हमने किया था primary ovum से. So primordial follicle, prime means what? Before. Okay. Then it converts into primary follicle. Here you can observe. Then it converts into developing follicles. There are 3 stages of developing follicles where you will see the changes. Then it converts into mature follicle, and it is also called as Graafian follicle, where you will see secondary ovum. Can you see your secondary ovum? And again the arrangement of the cells, how it is. So like this it goes, like primordial follicle, primary follicle. You can write down. You can write it down, students. Then developing follicle, 3 stages are there. Then it converts into Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle is nothing but your mature follicle only. Okay. There you will observe it now changes into a secondary follicle. Here. Can you see secondary ovum here? So in the histology of ovary, we have discussed primary structure of ovary. See here, different stages of development of oocyte we can observe. Okay. So these changes in the ovary are cyclic. Please remember this. So these changes, can you see some of the changes here? Okay. Here you can see changes. So these changes are cyclic changes. It is going to continue every month. Okay. So these are cyclic changes occurring during each menstrual cycle, and it involves maturation of primordial follicles into primary, then into secondary, and then into Graafian follicle. And Graafian follicle is your mature follicle. Okay, understood? So there is growth of oocyte and the granulosa cells increase in number. They start producing the hormone estrogen. Now Graafian follicle grows into secondary follicle. Sorry, secondary follicle grows into Graafian follicle by addition of more follicular cells. So here, can you see? This is at what we can say the process is called as ovulation. Huh? Can you see release from this? Ova is going to release. Hmm? So ruptured follicle. Hmm? Every month, one egg is or one ova is being produced alternately by each ovary. Huh? Two we have pair of ovaries. तो एक month में एक ovary produce करती है, next month में next ovary produce करती है. So during each month, one ova releases. The process is called as ovulation. Okay. The egg is released from the Graafian follicle. ये rupture होके egg release होता है. The egg is released from Graafian follicle. Okay. During the ovulation, and remaining part of the follicle changes into temporary endocrine gland. We called it as corpus luteum. Underline this. Can you see here white fluid जो होता है, white is given shown in white color because it is whitish fluid. We called it as corpus luteum. Luteum. So Graafian follicle during ovulation and remaining part of follicle changes into endocrine gland. We called it as corpus luteum. If fertilization does not take place, अगर fertilization होता है, then what happens? There is fusion of male and female gametes, that means egg and the sperm. But if fertilization does not take place, the corpus luteum degenerates. The corpus luteum degenerates into a white scar called as corpus albicans. It is yes, here you can see. ये पूरा बन जाता है यहाँ पे डीजेनरेट कॉर्पस ल्यूटियम. पूरा डीजेनरेट हो जाता है. देखो यहाँ पे कितना बड़ा है ये. हाँ, फिर बाद में इफ फर्टिलाइजेशन डज नॉट टेक प्लेस, हाँ, अगर फर्टिलाइजेशन नहीं होता है तो ये कॉर्पस ल्यूटियम डीजेनरेट होता है. और किसमें कन्वर्ट होता है? अगेन इनटू द व्हाइट स्कार. वी कॉल्ड इट एज कॉर्पस अल्बिकन. हियर कैन यू सी? I hope it is clear now. Okay.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
oviduct. Oviduct is also called as fallopian tube, uterine tube. These are a pair of muscular ducts lying horizontally. It can be divided into three regions: infundibulum, the proximal funnel-like part with an opening called as ostium, surrounded by many finger-like projections called as fimbriae. Of these, at least one is long and connected to the ovary. The cilia. Why cilia? For movement. Got it? Cilia and movement of fimbriae help in driving the ovulated egg to the ostium. Ampulla, it is middle and long straight part of the oviduct. Fertilization of ovum takes place in this region. Ampullary isthmic region. The distal narrow part is called as isthmus. Then next is your uterus. Yes, uterus is very important. I told you before also, implantation जो होता है, zygote जो attached होता है, it is there in the uterus. It is commonly also called the womb. It is hollow, muscular, pear-shaped organ located above and behind the urinary bladder. And if you see the uterus, again it is divided into three regions. Let me show you diagram, proper diagram, so that you will come to know about fundus, body and the cervix. We are talking about three different regions of uterus. Swollen part is called as fundus. Let me show you only. And then we will stop. Okay, visible now? Huh. So here you can see some developmental stages also they have given here. Ovary, zygote. Hmm? Today we are not going to talk about it, but focus on parts. Hmm? Yeah. Here you can see fundus. Can you see this swollen part? This is the uppermost part of the uterus. Okay. So uterus um, can be divided into three parts. Fundus, it is upper dome shaped part. Normally implantation of the embryo occurs in the fetus. Can you see here? Then second is body. It is broad part of the uterus which gradually tapers downward. That means pointed हो जाता है ये. Then cervix. Can you see here cervix? It is narrow, about 2 to 5 centimeter in length, and it extends into the vagina. Here you can see. So it passage has two openings: internal towards the body and external towards the vagina. So internally cervix is there, and externally external opening vagina is there. Okay, but if you study internal structure of uterus, here what we can see is internally uterine wall can be distinguished into three layers. I told you. Outermost is your perimetrium, middle, which is a thick muscular part called as myometrium, and then you have next is endometrium, which is also called as mucosal membrane, and it is made up of stratified epithelium. See, the thickness of the layer regularly undergoes changes during the menstrual cycle. When I say menstrual cycle, that means there is breakdown of endometrium, lining of the uterus. Okay. So thickness of endometrium is very important. Okay. Clear? Then next is vagina. It is tubular female copulatory organ. It lies between the cervix and vestibule. Opening of vagina into vestibule is called as vaginal orifice. Then opening is covered partially by folds of mucous membrane called as hymen. Vagina acts as a passage for menstrual flow also, and acts as a birth canal during parturition. Okay. Now, only accessory glands we have to discuss. Accessory glands. Please go through the diagram clearly. Here, some of the developmental zygote is going to form. Then 1 to 2 cell, 2 to 4 cell, 4 to 8 cell, 6, 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32 cell. Then morula formation. Then blastocyst. This we are going to study later on, not today. Different developmental stages are there. Plus, but you have to remember this diagram. Yes. See, vestibular gland is also called as Bartholin gland. It is there in female reproductive system. It is a pair of glands homologous to vulvourethral gland or Cowper's gland, which we have already studied in male reproductive system. So they open into vestibule and release a lubricating fluid. So it helps in lubrication only. Simple function. Okay. So please add, there is one gland, accessory gland, which is also called as vestibular gland and Bartholin gland. Okay, everyone? Yes. Now, let me tell you what homework you have to do. Sejal and Ratu. TS of ovary and TS of testes. You have to draw. बस दो ही diagrams निकालो. And one more thing, next lecture, that means it is on Sunday. Before coming to my lecture, please go through menstrual cycle, because hormonal control and how it works exactly. It is very important. So menstrual cycle, there are different phases. So along with phases, we have to study about hormonal control also, how it is going to control the whole reproductive cycle. Hmm? And gametogenesis. That means sperm कैसे form होते हैं and ova कैसे form होता है. Structure of sperm I have already discussed. So two more terms are there: oogenesis, gametogenesis, and oogenesis. Okay, and fertilization events. Hmm? What are the different events or the mechanism of fertilization? Hmm? तो इतना थोड़ा सा पढ़ के आओ, बिकॉज थोड़ा डिटेल में दिया है. दैट्स द रीजन आई एम टेलिंग यू. बिफोर कमिंग टू माय लेक्चर, प्लीज गो थ्रू एटलीस्ट डायग्राम्स. तो देखो, तुम लोग डायग्राम्स देख सकते हो ना, डायग्राम्स देखो. और प्लस अगर कुछ न्यू टर्म्स आपको समझ में नहीं आता है, यू जस्ट अंडरलाइन इट. And then you can ask me. Okay. Any doubt in today's lecture? Both of you, Pratik and Sejal, understood clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. Ratik, what about you, beta? Huh? Understood? If you have any doubts, you can ask me right now only. Ratik, I'm waiting for your reply.
मैम आपने वो एक्सप्लेन नहीं किया एक्सटर्नल
Yeah,
जेनिटल.
okay, external genitalia. It is very simple. Externally, na, external genital organs of female include some external parts, right? It is external to the vagina, and it is collectively called as vulva. That means external genitalia means facial covering only. It is covering only. Okay. They include a vestibule, then a labia minora. These are another pair of thin folds. It is like a what we can say, covering only. Then labia majora, with which they merge posteriorly to form like a four architecture while towards anterior, and they converge into a hook-like covering around the clitoris. So you know that internally clitoris is there and externally vagina is there. ठीक है. So externally जो भी covering आपको दिखते हैं, that is external genitalia. Then is clitoris. It is a small conical sensitive projection lying at the anterior end of the labia minora. Then it has a pair of erectile tissues, which is homologous to penis. Same function में होता है during copulation. Then labia majora. These are a pair of fleshy folds. Fold covering जैसा structure रहता है. Folds of skin forming the boundary of vulva, or we can say external genitalia. Again, they are homologous to the scrotum. जैसे scrotum is a sac-like structure, जिसमें testes होते हैं. So same labia majora homologous to scrotum only. They surround and protect the other parts of external genitalia. Then urethral and vaginal openings in the vestibule, you can see here in external genitalia. And final is mons pubis. It is a fleshy elevation above the labia majora. The mons pubis, the outer part of labia majora, shows pubic hair. Okay. So we have done with the topic. Understood now, Sejal?
मैम
My dear girl, you are the only one who is there for my lecture always. Thank you so much. So done for the day, Sejal. Thank you so much. Bye. Good night.
बाय मैम.
Bye.